Oh, um, it's so just extraordinary to see the power of each one of these individual stories. But we should remind ourselves, and again, it's something that Woody said, it needs to happen about 1 million times. But because of FIRST, it definitely does happen tens of thousands of times. And we see it every year, and we see it every day in the programs throughout the world. And of course, FTC is a building block. It's a bridge, an experience for people who need that first bit of encouragement to try the kinds of science and technology that is on the sort of first level, but may not be quite at the level of course, the Super Bowl of competition here at FIRST, and that's, of course, the FRC program, the FIRST Robotics Challenge. And that's why we're all here today. And so to tell that story, and this is going to be difficult, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own, so I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need some help from some really important team members. First of all, I want to introduce you to Team 842, an extraordinary team of robotics champions, Falcon Robotics at Carl Hayden Community High School in Phoenix, Arizona. Remember that number, Team 842. And remember this name, Oscar Vazquez, a first alum from that team of 842. Oscar and his robotics teammates won national acclaim in robotics, with the story behind the story being that his high school was a home for so many kids who didn't have a chance in the Phoenix community. Oscar himself was an illegal resident, having arrived in the country with all kinds of questions about what is possible. Could I be a citizen? What can I do with my life? Can I be a part of this community? Can I succeed? Questions that any 12-year-old has, but if you're a 12-year-old who's an undocumented resident in the United States, consider the level of those questions. Well, eventually Oscar graduated from Arizona State University with a degree in mechanical engineering in 2009, and along the way, he was helped and nurtured by his experience at FIRST. And to help me tell Oscar's story, please welcome the team member who is really the mentor of Oscar and so many in the 842 team. Please welcome Freddie Lajvardi. Let's tell Oscar's story. First of all, what did you see in Oscar Vazquez, and what age was he when you first encountered him at Team 842?
He was a junior when I first encountered him, and he was actually in, I heard this mentioned before, marine science, a marine science program we have at the school. And we were trying to get some kids to start, the robotics team. I saw a lot of leadership qualities in him and how he was able to get kids to follow him. And so I really wanted him to be on the team so he can kind of spearhead or help me organize the team. So that was the main reason why I was trying to get him.
How did you learn, as you worked with him, his particular issues and the questions that were going to be huge issues in his life as he became an adult in the United States?
Well, at that time, the immigration issue wasn't very big. It was kind of something that was just accepted throughout the school. We just knew we had that kind of population, and as teachers, our job is to teach. We let the people that make the higher pay scale figure out how to resolve the other situations. But my job was to make sure that every kid that I come in contact with can leave here with some tools in order to be successful in life.
And for Oscar to be successful in life, he really wanted to get this citizenship question resolved for him.
Yes, I mean, he really wanted to be, he was an ROTC at school, and he was under the impression that when he was done, he was going to go into the military and serve his country. So that was the angle he was looking at until 9/11 happened and things got changed a little bit and immigration started becoming a bigger issue.
And he learned at this time, when again he has a very close relationship with you, that his only pathway, as far as he could tell, was to do what? To get back into this country that had given him so much, that he'd grown up in, and that he really felt a part of.
Well, the policy is, at this time, if you're here as an undocumented child, there is no procedure to become documented. And a lot of people in Congress have been pushing what they call the DREAM Act. and it's an act to try to create a pathway that doesn't currently exist for children that have been brought here illegally. And so his only course of action was to self-deport and apply through the process that everyone else has to apply through.
Self-deport sounds a little like an engineering term, but in terms of Oscar, he was saying goodbye to his community of Phoenix. What else?
He, in the time that he had been in the United States, he got married, and he also has a child.
So he said goodbye to his wife?
Yes.
He said goodbye to his child?
Yes.
He went back to Mexico?
Yes.
To wait for some government paperwork to maybe, only maybe, allow him to come back to the U.S.?
Yes, and his reasoning behind that was that he had done everything he could in the United States for the time being. And he got a degree from Arizona State, and he even graduated in front of President Obama. He was one of 3 kids recognized of graduating with distinction.
Obama gave the commencement speech at Arizona State at that point. Yeah.
And he said that I've done everything I can. I want to do the right thing. This is the only pathway left open to me. So although it may be an extreme hardship, I want to do what I have to do in order to be able to be a real United States citizen.
Now, Freddie Lajvardi, what was it in the first toolkit that you observed when he was working on the projects that he was working on with FIRST that he took with him to go back to Mexico and to use some of that, I guess, what was Rico talking about, determination to get back here into the United States?
He knew what he was doing was a long shot. And through his experiences in FIRST, almost everything we do at our school is a long shot. And so he decided that through his experiences in FIRST and his ability to communicate with people and to present his case, he felt that he had what it took in order to take that chance and hopefully get what he wanted.
Eventually, his story attracted the attention of Senator Richard Durbin of Illinois, who really is an important advocate for the DREAM Act. What happened then?
The Immigration Homeland Security was asked to take another look at the application, which had been rejected twice already. It had been close to about a year. His wife and daughter had been making trips monthly down to the border town where he got a job working at a factory that made car parts. And so they just kept hoping that eventually one of these cases would, come through. Dick Durbin asked if they could please look at his case one more time. He got a letter that said he was to report to the border on such and such date. And when he did, they said, "Welcome to the United States of America. You have your temporary residence status."
Temporary visa.
Yes.
Right. All right, but wait. Hold on. We're just getting started here, folks. One of his first visits was to you.
Yes, he wanted to come back.
How tough had this been? How tough had this experience been on him?
It was tremendous. He didn't realize when he first went down this path how long it would be. He knew it could be as long as 10 years, but he really felt that he wanted to do the right thing. So
hold you up there. So Oscar Vazquez comes to visit you. He's got his temporary paperwork. And you, it sounds like, did not see a man filled with regret, demoralization, disillusionment about the U.S. government, disillusionment about his commitment to the United States. What did you see?
I saw a person completely full of hope, anticipation for the brighter future that was in front of him. Still didn't know exactly what was going to go on, but he was much more hopeful than he was shortly before he received that letter. So I saw a huge amount of potential coming back into his eyes when it seemed like it was kind of leaving. And
his next stop, or one of them, right after seeing you, was what?
Well, one of his dreams was to serve in the U.S. military. So he finally got to live that out, and he's currently living
So
that.
After all that, he comes to see you. He says, I got to go because I got a date with the U.S. Army. Yes. He signs up, and he is currently in Afghanistan at this moment, 4th Brigade Combat Team, 25th Infantry Division, Oscar Vazquez. And as a U.S. Army paratrooper, he is now, ladies and gentlemen, an American citizen. And if that isn't enough, a little family news, right?
Sure.
You want to tell her or should I?
You go ahead.
You go ahead. They are now the parents, Oscar and his wife, of a daughter and a son who was born just last month. All 4 of them American citizens. And there you go. So, you know, as emotional as you can get, thinking about Oscar, talking about his story, this isn't a unique story, is it?
No. Many of our graduates go on to college despite the adversities they have, knowing that the road for them is not completely clear, but they know that as long as they can, they need to get an education, regardless of how they get the funding. Obviously, a lot of avenues are closed to them, so they have to seek out alternatives. There's many stories like that.
And do you say to them, please look for long shots? Continue to look for long shots? Embrace long shots? Is that something you say, Freddie?
Well, you know, one of the things we point out, and this may be not the most eloquent way to say it, but, you know, you could get caught up and deported any time. Do you want to be deported as an uneducated person or a garbage collector, or do you want to get deported as an engineer?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Well, let's talk about another one of these amazing stories. Please welcome Dulce Matuz. Come on up. Dulce is a member of Team 842, right?
Yes, she is actually one of the founding members of Team 842, yes.
What were you doing on Team 842 a couple of years ago, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago?
Well, at the time, I was still learning how to speak English. So one of the things that attracted me to the team is that I didn't have to know anything. I didn't know anything, so I joined. And my first job, it was to be a web designer. And then from there, I went to public relations and then fundraising.
And what did you see in Dulce that you thought, this could really work, this is someone we definitely need on this team, and you saw some of the switches turning on that we've seen with the other stories of characters here?
Well, I saw that she was very bright and that she didn't have the ability to say no.
So there's no switch for no,
No.
I guess, for her. I guess, really, interesting. So let's find out from you first a question that I asked the 4 gentlemen from the Little Red Robot series. What was awakened in you that you didn't know about yourself, that being in first and being a member of Team 842 helped you to see?
First gave me the courage to challenge the status quo and to speak for those who are afraid to come out of the shadows as undocumented and unafraid.
And so the project / long shot that you took on as a result of your experience and thinking about Oscar Vazquez's story is what exactly?
Well, when I came here 12 years ago, I didn't know what to expect. And I didn't even knew what being undocumented meant. And until I wanted to apply for college. And I couldn't get that far. The third question was, what's your social? And I don't have one. So, because I was involved with FIRST, it really opened the opportunities for me to pursue my degree in electrical engineering. I graduated from Arizona State University in May of 2009 with my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. And even after that, a lot of people will tell you, like, what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna, like, get that great job, make a lot of money, and have this successful life, right? But I couldn't. Then again, I entered the world of you can't. You can't go to school.
Let's hold it right there. So the barriers of American citizenship and paperwork and the political forces in the United States that say no to you, they would probably shut me down. They shut millions of people down every single day. But somehow it was the power of FIRST that launched you above all of those? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
And so what project have you taken on in the state of Arizona where these issues couldn't be more electrifyingly real?
So I co-founded the Arizona Dream Out Coalition, And now we're fighting for immigrant youth rights, and we're fighting to pass the DREAM Act.
Fighting to pass the DREAM Act, the Arizona DREAM Act Coalition. And folks, check this out. Check this out. On the cover of Time magazine, Dulce Matuz, one of the 100 most influential people in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Should I get off the stage? Probably, right?
No.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did this man do for you to make you think you could do all of this for all of us?
Every time I wanted to give up, even when I was going to ASU, I was like, man, when am I doing this? Like, I just couldn't bear the thought of just telling Lanjabardi I couldn't do it. So it's just what kept me going, even today, I want him to look up to me, and I want him to be proud of me.
Are you?
I'm proud of you.
You are spectacular.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Wow.
You saw in person Coach Freddie. I went out to Arizona a few weeks ago, and if you leave that place without being inspired, you need some kind of help.